Hey everyone, I am co-producer and director Kieran Williams, and this is...
Sean. Should I say my last name?
Yeah.
Macy. I am writer and producer of The Dark Night Before the Dawn.
And today we're just going to give you a little bit of a behind-the-scenes look at our short film, so stick around. So basically, a while ago, Sean came to me with an idea that you had sort of stewing for quite a while, I guess.
Yeah, I really wanted to put a piece together that would use everything that we had access to. You know, I knew that we had a fairly large industrial space, dark room, and I have a real fascination with that sort of serial killer style of
And it's a bit like noir too, I guess.
Low lighting, very
Interrogation.
close, claustrophobic sort of space. I want you to feel like you're in that room.
Yeah,
With
cool.
the guys.
With the guys, yeah. So and then basically, I guess I said to you, what would you explore? And you definitely said that you wanted to explore Batman and Joker and that relationship that they have.
Well, it was one of those things that, forever we've always discussed our love of, DC characters in general, and especially Batman and Joker.
Mm.
And so I always had that sort of project somewhere up around here.
Yep.
And I was writing something over here. And then all of a sudden it just made sense that, there's a world where those two things can mesh together.
Yeah. Yep.
And you can come up with a really cool story, like I think we have.
Yeah, no, 100%. And so that's when, I think you went away for a while and you wrote the script. And then, and I guess one of the really good things about you is that you really want to explore what these characters would do and what they would say. Like, you were very mindful of the comics and things like that.
Yeah, I did a lot of research because while I am a fan of a lot of the iterations of both characters, obviously there are people out there that are bigger fans and know a lot more than I do. So I wanted to make sure that if I was going to put something down on the page or the characters were going to say something, that it did actually have to come from somewhere in the canon.
Yeah, cool.
I didn't want to recreate the wheel. I don't think it's necessarily my place to do that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do something, again, just slightly different with the characters within their canon.
Yeah, cool. And that's where we sort of went. We made the creative decision very early on that we wanted to sort of go quite comic booky, I think, an animated series almost.
Yep.
We have the Heath Ledgers, we have the Jared Leto's, and we have Jack Nicholson, and we just wanted to find our own sort of Joker in amongst all of that.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that came down to the first night when we had a reading at my place.
Yeah.
And we had, who ends up being the Joker in the film, Bo Baker, read in his voice.
Yeah.
And that sort of locked in with the fact that, he's inspired, hugely by that sort of Mark Hamill.
Yeah, very Mark Hamill. But also still distinctly his own, I think, as well, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Take my blood, for example. I wish somebody would. This stuff is killing me.
Why should I care?
Because now there's a teeny little bit of me in you too, Bats.
And it really allowed us to go, okay, well, in terms of in audio, we'll be able to hear that sort of animated type Joker.
Yes.
Yeah. So how do we make him look like that now?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%.
I love chaos. And chaos, Bats. Chaos is freedom. Such a fight.
You're running out of time, Joker. Get to your point before Schoolboy tracks you down.
Tell me, Bats, do you like hunting?
Hunting.
So when you wrote the script, what made you decide to like the way the story unfolded? So like having Batman tied up and basically it was all about Joker prancing around him. What made you decide to do that?
Well, at first, I always this is kind of funny. I wanted to be the Joker.
Yeah, okay.
I wanted to be a Joker, so I started again. If you think of the whole serial killer piece, I wanted to be the serial killer. You know, I wanted to be the person that would deliver these kind of cool lines and also make you fearful. I don't know, there's something wrong with me, possibly. I don't want to be there, but that's kind of how I wanted it to be. I wanted this character to have the floor, so to speak.
Yeah.
And to do that, you needed to have then somebody that you could bounce off.
Look what you've done. Psychotic.
Psychotic. That is funny.
Yeah.
And
cool.
that the victim or whatnot. And then Batman ended up being in that sort of perfect spot. But the difference between, I would guess, an average victim to a Batman is that Batman is somebody who will have other things at play.
Yeah.
And so that was what interested me, is that, well, he's tied up, so physically he can't do a whole lot.
Yeah, and I think that's what was really cool for me coming in as director, was like, okay, you know, Batman always has so much power and so much gravitas, and we took that all away from him, basically. Yeah. He was tied to a chair. He couldn't do anything, you know? And so we still had to create this sort of very powerful screen presence in Batman without all that power at the same time. So that was cool.
We just have to, which, you know, obviously Aaron Robinson, you know, brings to that role. You know, he's got the very gravelly voice, you know, and he's a big guy. And a lifelong Batman fan.
He's got great screen presence, and I think that was really cool to bring him on.
Joker, when I get my hands on you, you're gonna wish you'd ever put on that makeup. You will pay for this, clown!
And the other thing I think that I probably didn't think about initially, but as we sort of went through drafts and started building these characters, was that the relationship that these two guys have, you know, throughout their life.
True. Yeah.
And that, you know, and through the dialogue, you realize that they're actually, this is kind of, not the back end, but they've certainly been together for a long, long time. So Batman has seen this guy do this dance over and over again. And, you know, he's in that world where he's kind of like, well, are we doing this again? Yeah,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, here we go again kind of thing, you know? And I think even Batman says that in the script, you know, like, what do you want this time? Like, he's kind of like, you know, he's fed up. He's just like, here we go again kind of thing. And then we brought in, which I thought was interesting, we brought in Superman and Harley. And I think it was really cool that we brought in other DC characters that exist outside of the norm, in this case being Superman. So generally in a Batman movie, you won't see Superman. He might be mentioned or something.
Yeah. So I think early on, we, you know, while we're doing this sort of two-piece of these guys who are kind of intellectually stalking each other.
Yeah,
you know,
cool.
That's what they're playing off each other. Who's going to sort of break first? Type of thing in the words. And as we're sort of building on that, it's kind of like, well, we realize that what we're watching is kind of more of a scene rather than what you would say is a regular short film.
Yes, yeah.
It's kind of a longer, you know.
Yeah,
scene.
It's more if you had a full-length feature film, we've just taken this part of it, and that's what we're showing you so far.
Yeah. So then it came to, well, what is this larger feature? What is this story around it? And you know, so we just wrote a little piece around what that world would look like. And you know, as I said, I love Batman, I love Joker, but I was really brought up on the Justice League.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where my true passion, my first passion from DC came.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, okay, how can I bring in Superman?
Yeah.
Superman needs to be part of this somehow. And so you know, obviously we crafted that sort of overall story around this box and these boxes that have been stolen from, you know, black site military holds all across the world. And you know, I know that there's probably a few Batman fans out there that are watching this film through, going, hang on.
That doesn't happen. Or this is
Batman is never going to be. He's the world's greatest detective. He's not going to detect himself into this position.
Yeah.
You know?
But maybe that was his plan all along.
Exactly. Right. So you stay till after the credits, you get a little bit of a stinger there to let you know.
And I think that was a really cool bit of writing that we decided, or you decided, that both had a plan. That Joker had a plan and Batman had a plan.
Yeah.
And so it was Joker's plan all along to kind of bring in Batman, but it was also Batman's plan all along to be caught by Joker.
Yeah.
So it was, that was really cool. I really liked that. And then we found our Harley in Bronte Reynolds. And,
Bronte Reynolds, yeah, I remember that.
she brought in such another great layer to the story.
Yeah, I think when we were sort of going through the character and what she would wear and things like that, she was so passionate about, what, I know that you like this outfit that you've chosen, but have a look at my 50 other outfits that I've personally made.
She's a walking wardrobe. Yeah.
And, you get videos or even on, the first day of shooting, she again turned up with all of her kit just in case.
Just in case, yeah. And we even she bought the traditional Harley Jester outfit. She bought it just before we started shooting.
Yeah.
And we were going to shoot more, but unfortunately COVID stopped that. But we definitely have bigger and grander plans with Harley and things that we want to explore. But it was really good just to bring that extra dimension into this story as well.
Yeah, definitely. I really look forward to having the opportunity to do something slightly longer, or in another scene or something throughout this film that builds in Harley and a different look.
Yeah, cool.
There's a great plan around that one, actually. I'll talk to you about that.
Yeah. Awesome.
The Man of Steel is sick. Oh, no, B-Man. Who's gonna protect you from me?
I'm trying to protect you from him.
Ugh. Such a big, strong man. Did you work out before you came here? Did you come here to hurt Puddin'?
So then it came time to shooting. I guess we sort of started ramping up towards actual shooting once we did a table read, which was really good down in Sydney. And then that sort of really solidified what we wanted out of the script, and then it was actually doing the shoot.
That's right. Like we had a small budget to work with.
Yeah.
No film I think can get off the ground without any type of budget.
Yeah.
I think anyone who understands exactly how films are made will be able to watch this and be able to say, okay, well, I can see where money will go.
Yeah. And I don't know the exact figure, but I reckon we probably spent around about $1,500 thereabouts.
Yeah, like 1,500 Australian.
Yeah.
Remember.
So we, what you saw was money. We really made sure it
stretched it
not enough butter over too much bread. We really made it work. So, but then we had a really cool space. So we found our location through Rogue Stand Studios, thanks to Denise Clissold, and then we had to work within that space, and we kind of had to cheat it. So myself as a filmmaker, that was quite challenging because we could only film one direction.
Yeah, that's right.
So we had sort of a corner of a room, and that was it. So any reversals, any other camera angles was basically us moving the entire set around, so that way the camera was still at the same direction, but it looked like it was in a new shot.
A new shot, yeah.
So that was
and I was always very confused when you're like, put the box over there and I'm going to do this, I'm just going to follow whatever you want me to do. Yes, mate.
So, and look, I was very grateful for you bringing me on as a filmmaker, and it was really exciting because I'd done Red Queen a few years ago, and we did discuss whether we were going to bring on Sheridan and her iteration of Harley, and then we decided that these were two very separate worlds, and we really wanted to explore that more animated series kind of
That's right.
persona of those characters. So.
We'll keep Sheridan for the multiverse.
Yeah.
Which is, the of the now thing.
Yeah. And then, unfortunately, right before production, we lost our DP. So we ended up shooting the whole thing on digital SLRs. So you might see in some versions of whatever it is that you're watching it on, you might see some banding in the blackness, and that's sort of unavoidable with a digital SLR. But I think as a whole, I mean, with the technology that we had, we really pulled it off, I think.
Oh, really, man? Like, and also you mentioned we lost our DOP, we lost our head makeup early on.
Yeah.
Which in this film, obviously, looking at the Joker, you need to have somebody who understands how to do it, but you can't just put white makeup on and smear some sort of red stuff
Yeah.
across. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Has to look good for the camera. And then our Batman cowl, which was coming from the UK,
Yeah.
arrived, I think, pretty much the day of.
The day of.
So all these things were pushing against time, and again, anyone who knows, filmmaking, you guys you make films out there, you understand that there are always little things here and there that you have to start to plan for, or you're going to have curveballs thrown at you a whole lot, and it's how you deal with that. We sat there, I think, 2 or 3 days before, going, okay,
Do we pull the pin?
do we pull the pin if this doesn't arrive or that doesn't happen or whatnot? I remember, you're like, if the cowl doesn't come, but then it won't look like Batman. And I'm like, yeah, we'll just shove a sack over his head. I really want to push this thing through, But yeah, thank God, the cowl arrived on the day of. Our makeup artist turned around and said, hey, I am free. Let's do this. I can't wait to do this for Felicia. It all worked out, in the end.
Let's talk about the look. So we brought on Felicia from Altered Reality SFX, and I've worked with her a few times before. And the great thing about Flea is that she's got a great ingenuity about her.
Yeah.
So she's very resourceful. She always brings more kit than is needed, which any makeup artist should. But we don't have to give her a lot of direction. Like, we sort of describe what we're after. We might send her 1 or 2 reference photos, and she pretty much figures out the rest. She's really good with that kind of thing.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever worked with
Felicia. Yeah, cool.
So, I didn't know what to expect except for seeing some of the projects that you had done. Obviously, when we started working together, I went out and watched everything that you had made.
Yeah.
Wanted to see what she had done and looked up her. And just seeing, it's not just the way that I think she puts the makeup on and, the quality of what she can do. It's her rapport with everybody she works with.
Yeah, as well.
And
she's always on set. She's always making sure of things and helping out wherever she can.
Yeah, and she just made it a fun place.
Yeah, 100%.
It's funny. I know actually a lot of makeup artists seem to be that way.
Yeah.
As well, like a lot of people I've worked with. But she was certainly one of the best. Always a smile on her face. Always making sure that whenever our Batman was, falling asleep or possibly passing out because of the cowl,
crushing his head,
making sure that she was, watering him, making sure he could breathe, and cracking jokes.
And I think so. A couple of little behind-the-scenes Easter eggs. The cowl was actually one size too small for our Batman, so we ended up having to stick makeup sponges up underneath his brow just to lift the cowl up off his face. So that was sort of a real interesting challenge there. And poor Aaron, like, he was put through torture. the suit was actually a friend of ours suit, and that was 3 sizes too small. So he actually lost, I think in the end, like 7 kilos over the course of the shoot to try and fit into this Batman outfit.
It was like trying to watch those Pride and Prejudice type films when they're putting corsets on and everyone's like, breathe in.
Just breathe in, yeah. So we're literally, come on, zipper, hold. The funs of filmmaking. And then, there was lots of things that we had to be resourceful for. One of the lights, I actually stuck pieces of cardboard to create my own cutting board on to get the lighting right.
To give that real nice channel.
Yeah, so the behind the scenes, there's all these things. We end up CGIing in the kryptonite, but the actual box that we use, we put a green light in to create this a glow on them. So.
And if you look closely as well, I think when Superman lands, in the foreground you'll see Batman's legs and boots on.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure those boots were photoshopped.
Yeah, so our Batman was wearing some beautiful quality Kmart boots. Kmart is a store in Australia that just produces very cheap clothing.
Yeah.
And they just did not look like Batman's boots at all. So I ended up CGIing Batman boots onto our Batman. So they're fake. The fan, the opening shot, the fan, that's fake as well. That's CGI.
Yeah. And a lot of the opening shot with the voiceover is animated, right? Like it's
it's all CG as well.
CG as well, yeah.
Yeah, and that was a real last minute decision. We knew that we wanted to do we needed something to bring in this scene, because we did decide that yes, this is a scene, it's not a short film. And then we were like, okay, but we need to sort of bring the audience into this. How do we do that?
Yeah.
And so we recruited our friend Chad Bennett, and he sort of did this voiceover work for us right at the end, and it worked.
It was important that we had an accent that was authentic as well.
Yeah.
Because
being American, that helps.
Yeah, exactly. God, the last thing I wanted was the internet coming at us about the opening voiceover not being an American
being
accent.
too Aussie or something. So Chad was our Commissioner Gordon. But the funny thing is, and I think we both talked about this after the fact, that it could also be the voice of the people. The way that we delivered those lines was like, this could be Commissioner Gordon, or this could also be the people of Gotham City kind of saying, we need you, Batman, where are you, kind of thing.
And that kind of made me think, is that the overall point of Commissioner Gordon?
Yeah, it kind of is.
Is he the person that we all understand? And that's our sort of viewpoint while we watch any Batman films.
Yeah, exactly.
He is us.
He's us. Yeah, he is the people. And then it was really cool for me as a filmmaker to really explore some of those really close-up shots, and we did some camera trickery. We actually lost our Batman actor halfway through the shoot due to COVID. He was in a lockdown in Sydney. So you stepped in as Batman. So we'll see if you can pick the shots.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't even notice, which was great.
Yeah.
But I can tell you guys, if you've never put on a Batman cowl before, I put on all the outfit, the suit, and I just thought, yeah, it's fine. I'm just going to be sitting there doing nothing. I popped it on, looked in the mirror, and I was transported back to being that 10-year-old watching a Batman film. Jack,
It's like when you pick up a lightsaber for the first time as well. You instantly become a kid. So.
It was the most exciting thing. Flash forward 5 hours of sitting in that suit and your legs are going numb and you're starting to fall asleep. It's not as fun.
It's not as fun. Chained to a chair and stuff like that. All right, so finally, let's just to finish our featurette. We want to talk about what we see as a grand vision for what we've done. So, we've got the scene out there now. We're glad that everyone's really enjoying it, and please share it amongst your friends. But we do have a full vision for this sort of story, and I guess what we've always wanted to do is really tell a gritty noir style caper that exists in the animated world, but is live action.
Yeah.
I think that's what we both really were drawn to this project on.
Oh, definitely. As I said, there are all these sort of, in my head, there's always these robberies and stuff going across the world, and you need a large group of people to be able to go and investigate all of those. So you have all these sort of threads of a story going in.
Yeah.
And basically, there's a lot of potential, I guess, for so much fun with all the characters you love.
Yeah.
It's not just a Batman film that you're going to bring people in. It is kind of a Justice League style of film.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
100%. And we've got some ideas for the Rogues Gallery. There's some other characters that we're talking about doing little scenes of as well.
Yeah.
And we'll leave that Easter egg in there for you guys. But I think the really exciting thing is that the way that this particular short has been received so far is very positive. So we know you guys out there would love to see more, and we want to bring you some more. So please, share the video around, get on YouTube and like and comment, because we love seeing that. We can't wait to bring you more.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Like and share. The best thing for this project is for just more eyes onto it. It's not about money or anything like that.
No, definitely a passion project.
It is definitely a passion project, and it's just about getting that right set of eyes onto it. So share away, please. Thank you.
Thanks for watching A Dark Night Before the Dawn. I'm Karen.
I'm Sean.
See you.
Macy.